Test, test. It's kind of quiet, isn't it? Because my levels don't look good. Wait, I hope this is not using the right microphone, is it? 1 second. I just set up my webcam and now it's using the webcam mic. Isn't it? Okay. Test, test. Oh yeah, okay. It was using the webcam mic, but I caught it. Hello, my name is Raymond McDonald. I'm a programmer, autodidact, and game developer. One second. I'm going to be working on a plugin for RPG Maker today. So on the left hand side we have the test game, which I have open in RPG Maker. On the right hand side we have the plugin file. I'm making a plugin to add collectible items to the game using hidden items in RPG Maker, which have associated poem fragments so that the player can read a complete poem when they're all collected, or part of a poem as you collect them. And I'm sure later I could abstract this to all kinds of things, like maybe just a story. I mean, what is a poem really? That's the thing. A poem is a pretty broad concept, so I think that's a good thing to make. You know, the Iliad's a poem. Try to remember to mute when I take a sip. So, I haven't made much progress here. Here over in the code I have plugin header, very basic. I just put some parameters I think I'm going to use, like enable or disable. I picked that up from Laughing Man Productions. You made a good point that people probably don't want the new plugin enabled by default, so it's actually disabled by default. Not only do you have to enable it in the plugin menu, you have to go into the settings and at least review the settings and turn it on, which is always good, I think. Another parameter to hide uncollected collectibles. I'm imagining a screen where either they're grayed out, the ones you don't have, or it just doesn't show them, and that's an option for that. That doesn't matter too much. That's just trying to track parameters I think of as I develop. Made a namespace object so I don't pollute the global namespace or mess with other plugins. I think I did that right. I'm pretty new. Well, I'm extremely new to RPG Maker plugin development and RPG Maker in general. I'm pretty new to JavaScript, and I'm mostly used to ES6 JavaScript. Now you can use ES6 in RPG Maker MV plugins, but it's probably better to just use ES5 for MV. I don't know. It might not matter, but I'm just gonna, for maximum compatibility, I'm gonna try to use ES5. These are just settings stored in the object, which I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Because I need to get the parameters, the actual parameters, right? I can still store those in a, you know what, just leave it. It's fine. I need to get the actual parameters, but I can still store those in properties on the object. And I set up a very basic scene. This is like the most basic scene. So that's the thing that I've really been working with, excuse me, is scenes and windows. It's kind of difficult. Sorry, my throat's kind of fried. I've been kind of sick lately, and I haven't been sleeping well, and I've also been really behind on my water intake. Anyway, scenes and windows is what I'm dealing with right now, and they're kind of hard to work with, mostly because I get really confused. I get confused about which ones to use, and the interface of anything in RPG Maker is a little hard to wrap your head around to begin with because there's not any documentation. Now, I probably should be using real examples I should be reading other people's plugins to see. But those are the examples. It's like how to use stuff. So I have like a bunch of free plugins from Yanfly. And I was actually looking at the Quest Journal plugin from Yanfly last night, and that did help a little bit. Let me open this. Specifically, I was looking at the scenes. Now, it looks to me like scenes are pretty simple. Well, I mean, this one doesn't look simple. There's a lot of stuff on this one. But getting scenes up and running is pretty simple. Windows seems a bit more finicky, but I guess anything to do with UI usually is. Mostly I'm doing research to learn how to do stuff right now. Before I proceed too much with code, I should design more. I have a little design work, I have some notes. It's not very organized, I'm not going to show that on stream today. Also, I specifically was thinking about in bed last night, I want to make a disclaimer. If for some god-awful reason in the future somebody is using any of these archived streams for like programming advice, first of all, I'm awesome. I'm a good programmer. I'm joking. I'm not that great of a programmer, but I'm alright. But what I really wanted to say was, first of all, don't. And I want to explain a couple things I've done here. So you can go to my GitHub and find this repo. It's public. It's free and open source. It will remain that way. Oh, somebody unfollowed me on GitHub. Great. I actually love that. This is a total tangent. Almost all of these people on GitHub are just spammers. And it's like every week I get a new person on top. The person on top right now is not a spammer. But I'm so grateful to see another spammer leave. Please. Anyway. So, I'm developing everything on main. And you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. I think it's fine if it's a small project that only you are working on. But the fact that this is a public project means I should probably not be doing it at all. However, I'm going to continue to do it, because I don't care. This plugin is my first one. It's probably pretty disposable. If I do continue to use it after like the next 2 months. I do plan to use this in a game soon. But beyond that, if I plan to use it, I'm probably just going to rewrite it. Yeah, so... Anyway, before you spend too much time coding, you should design, which I need to do more of. But I'm just kind of experimenting with the code, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Let me actually test what I have here. I'm pretty sure this is a functioning scene. It doesn't really do anything, but it does function. And I think I clearly understand what a scene is now. I mean, not exactly, but... collectible scene. Okay, it does not function. Why does it not function? I don't even... Wait, I did override create and didn't do anything with it. That might have something to do with it. Oh, also, I need to get this set up. This is... here. This is here. So I can easily just pop this over. Wait, I didn't need to open it. Okay. Wait, I didn't mean to close that. Hold on, I need that. It's okay. Okay. Leave that alone. Let's close this. Check this out. Okay. Oh, the friendly cock gave me a potion. Okay. Check the chat. Okay. Anyway, so scenes seems like the more basic part of the scene and window problem. Get some coffee. Coffee's probably even worse for my throat than nothing at all, but... Admit I'm a little nervous about being on camera because I used to stream a lot, but I never cammed up. Oh yeah, you can see my cat, by the way. I got this XSplit VCam thing on that makes the background go away, but you can still see my cat. Hey, hey, Mr. Kitty. Hey. He pretends like he's trying to sleep, but he's just chilling. Okay. So, like I said, scenes are pretty straightforward, I think. Like if you look at the scene base, it really doesn't have that much stuff in it. And I think a scene is basically just a container. Let me check this real quick. Yeah, it extends the stage from Pixie. And a stage in Pixie is... It's a container, but it's like the container for the canvas. Like I was doing some Pixie tutorials, and it seems like when you want to add stuff to a very basic Pixie app, you want to add stuff to the canvas element on the stage. It's kind of a similar thing. A scene is just a container with stuff that you show on the screen. And I don't think there's a whole lot of stuff in scene base, at least compared to window base. Window base has a ton of stuff. Yeah, scene base is pretty small, so this is not too bad. So let me actually go in and try to overwrite create, which is actually empty in scene base. Create the components and add them to the rendering process. And when that runs on mine, it says that add child of undefined. So just let me check real quick. Add child. Well, that's because scene base. Wait, hold on. That's because. Hold on, let me check create here. Does create take a... Does it have a parameter? No, it doesn't. Create window layer, add child window layer. So a scene with no window seems illegitimate. I think that's the problem. Create window layer. But, I mean, it has that, it makes that though. So... So what's the problem? Why does having this empty create function make the game crash? Oh, well no, but it's empty. That shouldn't matter. Is that the difference? It's empty. I don't think that's the difference. It doesn't do anything. But then again, no, that is the difference, because when I disable the override, they would be calling the empty one anyway. That is the difference. Okay. Fair enough. This is the boot. I'm not going to copy much out of this, I was just looking at that one part. But that's a good way to explain scenes. So, scene boot. Scenes are basically just the different screens of the game. So scene boot is when the game starts up, that's the scene that it's in, when it initializes things. Scene title, the title screen. And then there's only a couple more. Scene map, that's basically, I mean, that's basically every gameplay screen. This is scene map. If I was on the world map, it would be scene map. If I was on any map, it would be scene map. If there was an event running, it would be scene map. So scene map comes up a lot. Scene menu base. That's another base class. I believe there are three. There's scene base, scene menu base, and scene item base. That's part of the reason I got confused. I'm trying to make a menu for items, and I tried to use scene item base. Scene item base is very specialized. It uses item and skill. Or it's for item and skill scenes, which are not... Those are very specialized. So anyone who's used probably knows. So that's extremely specialized. That's got a help window, category window, and an item window, excuse me, hiccups. And I don't have any items right now. Now I do. But see, it also has this actor window that comes up. So I don't need that functionality. Skill, kind of the same way. You pick actors and it goes to this other window. So item and skill is not what I'm trying to do. In fact, I should probably be more clear about what I am trying to do. Excuse me for being all over the place. I have ADHD, and it's just how it is. You're just going to have to deal with it. Let's get some more coffee. I woke up like 40 minutes ago. My sleep schedule is weird. I wake up in the late afternoon and I stay up at night. But even today I slept in. My sleep's been so messed up. Anyway, let me get back to this. So scene menu base, scene menu, that's like the main menu when you open the pause menu, or not the pause menu, but the menu screen. Item base is for item and skill. Equip. These are all specialized menus. Status. So I don't think I would want to override any of these. I think I would want to override one of the bases. In fact, I want either scene base or scene menu base. I was going to say I'm pretty sure I want scene base, but I'm actually... Let me think about that real quick. That's something I need to find out. There's my mouse messing up. Let me see what scene menu base actually adds. Because I do want to make a menu. I'm quite sure scene menu base is not just for... I mean, obviously it's for more than one kind of menu, or it wouldn't be separated out into a base class. Scene menu base. Create background, update actor, create window layer. I don't exactly know what update actor does. I think that just makes it so that you can use... Actually, no, this is the part... This is one of the parts I get confused on the most. I'm pretty sure this is because a lot of menus will use... Okay, maybe it would help if I just go find... Oops. Where this is used. Game party, menu actor. In fact, let me just... Wait, is it actor menu? Oh, it's menu actor, right? Game party object, of course that would be the place to look. Actor ID. This is going to be what a lot of these streams are, is just me looking through RPG Maker code and figuring out how all this works. Development's going to be very slow for a few weeks. At first I felt like I was making a lot of progress. I think I am. I think I am making a lot of progress. It's just, there's only so much you can make. It's going to be kind of slow. Maybe I could talk about what I have done with plugins. No, I didn't show it. I deleted the code, but I did make a little plugin to add items to the party, which is useless because events do that anyway. But I figured out how. I figured out how to manipulate game party and how to add functionality on game system and how to properly add items without breaking the game. That was cool. And I did make a custom command on the command menu that goes to a different scene, although I did watch a video that helped me figure out how to make it so you could actually back out of that scene, but that's all I did. And I'm not sure that was a good way to do it. I was watching Porg tutorials, which are very good, extremely useful, really helped me out with scenes in Windows so far. That's Porg, P-O-R-Y-G, I have them open right now. Porg the RPG Maker, these are great. But I'm not so sure about the way that he showed to cancel out of a scene, because he used the input manager directly in a way that I didn't necessarily care for, because I think it was very specifically about the cancel key, so I was wondering, what if you rebound that? But input is something I need to learn a lot more about later. I'm just looking for actor right now. I don't even know where that is. I did not see it. Also, I've been working too much. I think that's slowing my progress down. I haven't had a day off in... when was the last time I had a day off? I think it's been over a week. I think my last day off was like Sunday last week. Or not the Sunday that was 2 days ago, but the Sunday before that. Where is this? There it is. Oh, it's game... wait, that's not what I'm looking for. Game actors? Wrapper class for an actor array. Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. I haven't really got into this stuff yet. So is this what Game Party is derived from? Yeah, actor just returns. Or if it's the first time you're trying to get it, makes. And then returns. Okay. Here's one thing that's really useful about what I've done over the past week. Is learning little tricks for how to navigate the RPG Maker code. Here's a good one. If you go into a file and you type in / space and then a prefix like game underscore, in this file I'm pretty sure everything described in this file starts with game underscore. In Windows they all start with window, in scenes they all start with scene underscore. So that's a good way to navigate just the files, or the classes. But also, if you use VS Code, you can just use the outline. Actually, that's probably what I need to start doing, is using the outline more. This is a very useful feature that I've barely used ever, and now it's super useful. So, anyway, Game Party, does that derive... no, it derives from Game Unit. Let's do this the smart way. Game Unit. Where's Game Unit? I don't see it. Oh, here we go. Scroll down more. Game Unit. Does that derive from anything? No, it's the superclass of the party and the troop. Okay. So does this have its own actor? Wait, now I'm confused. Game Party has... See, this is not even that relevant to what I'm doing, but just any chance to learn more about this code base is good. I don't want to get too distracted, but I want to chase this actor thing down. I was specifically looking at... yeah, there's no .actor on Game Party. Okay, no, I'm officially not messing with this anymore. Okay. Back to scenes. Anyway. Oh wait, is that it? Was it just on the scene the whole time? Whatever. So scene base has an empty create for you to overwrite any way you want. One of the most basic scenes, scene menu base, which I'm not overwriting from, creates background, which that is pretty much the same for, well, it's the same for any scene where you can see the background, which sounds kind of stupid, right? When I say background, a background can mean a lot of things. It can mean your wallpaper on your computer. It can mean the noise in a coffee shop, you know. But obviously we're talking about background images, and in the case of RPG Maker, I've learned that when it says background, it usually means taking the last scene and showing that in the background of the current scene. So like the other day I was wondering what scene manager.background bitmap is. I haven't really taken a close look at it, but I realized, and I'm pretty sure this is correct, it's just a guess, but that is just taking what's on the screen and turning that into a bitmap to show as background, and then you add that to the scene, which is a stage. This is just like in Pixie. This .add child comes up a lot in Pixie. That's just how you add things to the stage. So I'm going to want one of those, and it's going to be exactly like this. That was kind of my point, is create background is really simple. It should be pretty much the same. Oh, but this thing is, I'm not sure if I want one of those, but it doesn't hurt. I don't think it hurts anything. Since I plan to get to this from the command menu, I probably don't need to create background. Let me look at an example. Let me look at like the options scene. That opens up a new scene. That's like a new screen. Yeah. So let me show what's going on here. So scene map, right? When I hit the menu button, that's a background. You obviously can't see where I'm pointing. What am I doing? That's the background. You can see my mouse cursor, right? So it takes what was on the scene, this, and turns it into a bitmap, draws it behind all this stuff. But if I go to options, options doesn't... When you... Oh wait, hold on. When does it create options? See, this would be more of a scene manager thing. What happens when you actually switch scenes? Next scene. Next scene. Change scene. I don't know. I'm getting lost in the weeds there. When I create, so my scene is probably going to be visited. No, it's definitely going to be visited from this menu. So it looks like I don't need to create a background. Let me try something out here. I think I basically know how pushing and popping with the scene manager works, but let me try something. So when you push... Well, I actually want to... Let me pop. Alright, that closes that. What am I trying to do here? What I'm trying to do is... No. Yeah, I'm just wondering how it actually handles the transition from the menu to another scene. I assume when you push something onto the stack, when the scene manager pushes something onto the stack, I assume it just hides everything. Here's my mouse messing up again. Push, stack push, I mean that's just a stat, right? See, a lot of this stuff is kind of opaque, or at least I don't know where to look. So... The other day I was doing some Pixie tutorials, and it might be good for me to do more of those when I get into graphics stuff, which is kind of what I'm doing now. I don't need to know this though. See, I'm like obsessed with fundamentals, so I wanna, in the long run, it will help me more. But right now, I think I could probably get by with a lot less information. Let me just make a decision here real quick. I want to write some code on this stream. So let me just decide if I'm going to use scene base or scene menu base, and then go ahead and get a basic scene working. And then I already know how to add commands. I don't remember exactly, but I figured out how to do it on my own. And then I looked at a Yanfly plugin that did it in a much simpler way, so I might just reference that plugin again to try and remember the better way to do it. So I'm going to make a scene, and I'm going to make a command on the command menu to add a scene to the command menu. Or to add a command to the command menu that navigates that scene properly and lets you back out of it. That's pretty simple. So, let me scroll. Do I want scene base or scene menu base? I think it's a menu type thing, so I think I can use scene menu base. let me go to scene menu base and go ahead and map. No, 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 no. I know this is stupid. Let me just do it this way. Be an efficient programmer. Every little thing you can do that saves you a few minutes now and then adds up over time. So, scene menu base. Oops. Okay. So when it creates, I don't think I need to create a background. I'm not sure if I need to update actor or not, but I do need to create a window layer, I'm sure. In fact, I know I do. In fact, that probably helps me understand what we're actually doing. When we create a window layer, I need to learn more about what a window layer is. That is probably, it draws on top of everything else, or replaces the current window layer. I don't know. That's something to learn more about. I don't actually plan to have any actor functionality on the screen, or on this scene. So I'm just going to ignore that stuff. And then it's got this help window thing. I'm not sure what that's about actually. Like, what is the definition of a help window? Why is that in menu base? Because I know if I go to item, for example, that's the help window at the top. If I go to skill, that's a help window at the top right there. Okay, well it does look like most of these menus have... Is that a help window? I don't know. I don't know. It's in the base, it doesn't matter. I think I can leave it alone. So... I guess I could test right now if this works. Is this the bare minimum to get a menu base working? Yep. Yep, it looks like it is. Looks like it doesn't break anything. Excuse me. Okay, now I'm trying to remember where make command list is. I think it's in Windows. Yep, I got it. Okay. So I want to hook into window menu command, which I did not think I could alias. Wait, no. I'm getting confused about this again. I can't believe how much I get confused on this. There was something when I was learning how to make commands on the command menu that I thought I could not alias. Oh, set handler. But I think I can. I thought it had to be done at a very specific time, but I don't think so. Let me come down here and I'll do it right here. Add command to navigate to collectible scene. So first I do want to alias this. What the Yanfly plugin I was looking at did was it just alias add main commands, so I may as well go into my object here and just go ahead and make an alias for that. I don't have naming conventions down super well yet, but this works. Not add man commands, add main commands. And then we want to overwrite that, or override that. Oops. Then we want to call the alias. And then we want to add our own command. Which has a name. and assemble, enable or not, and ext, which, you know, just for, I'll just go ahead and pass null for that. You don't have to pass anything because it's JavaScript, but I think it's a good habit. It's like better self-documented code to demonstrate the interface. Let me just test that out. That should add a command now. No, it didn't. Do I have to set the handler for it to do that? Look at add command. Ah, okay. I don't want to look at the actual code for add command. I pushed it onto the list. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Do I need to set a handler to actually make it show up? Possibly. And I'm trying to remember where I set the handler. Do I just do it from here? I'm gonna check that Yanfly plugin now for reference. Quest journal. So set handler. Oh, does that do it in the scene? What am I thinking about? I was specifically looking at the command stuff that they were modifying. Window menu command. Here we go. Add original commands. Which is not what I did. But let me just double check and make sure that mine's not too seriously different, because I don't think it matters that much. What does add original commands actually do? Oh! That's empty. That's specifically for plugin developers, I think. Okay. See, this is like... There's no guide that tells you this stuff. You just have to like figure it out on your own. So I'm just going to copy what they did here. In fact, I don't even really need to... No, it's an alias, so... I like to put the word alias on the end of all my aliases. Okay. So that's like, that's where all plugins should do their command adding, I guess. So then call it and then add a command, which they have their own stuff set up. I don't need that yet. Find symbol. I'm doing very basic, bare bones, small plugin that I'm probably going to throw away in a few months. Add command. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Scene menu, command window. Oh, command window. Scene menu. Well, that's okay. So that's it. I have to set the handler when I'm. That's what I was looking for. I didn't remember where to set the handler. I also need to override scene menu, create command window. Okay. Just put that right here. In fact, let me document this a little better. Sooner or later, I will follow the class conventions of the RPG Maker stuff, the same as Yanfly's doing here. That's a best practice, I think. I'm learning. Okay, so scene menu, create command window alias equals scene menu.prototype, create command window. Oops. I want to override that. Oops. And of course you want to call the alias. Kalal. Kalal T9. then we just want to get right into the command window and set a handler. Symbol goes here. Then we want to bind a method. I could probably just put... Well, no, wait, here's the thing. I don't think... I'm trying to observe ES5. ES5 did not have lambdas. Well, I mean, you could still do an anonymous function, it just wouldn't be an arrow function, right? Or do you have to use an IIFE? It doesn't matter. I'm going to just do it the way that Yanfly did it anyway. It's always good to copy people. Oh! Wait, did they just put that right on scene menu? Command quest. That doesn't seem like a best practice. Not that I'm one to criticize Yanfly, I'm just saying, like, why did they do that? Sorry, my voice is fried today. As much vocal fry as I have, and as many times as I'm saying like today, I feel like a valley girl. Okay. Command collectibles. And yeah, we want to push the scene. And I think I want to do command collectibles, find this. Let's see if all this is working the way that I expect it to. No. Wait, have I haven't I know I've enabled the plugin. I thought it was pretty simple to get a command on there. So what's going on here? But this, you know what? I never did it with add original commands. No, you just override that. You don't have to do anything else with it. Oh. Whoops. That might be part of the reason why it's not working. No, it's still not fucking working. I'm in collectible poem fragments. I alias it, I alias the correct thing, and I override the correct thing. I call the alias, and then I add command with a name, a symbol. Oh, whoops, you know what? I'm silly. That part I blindly copied. It's not enabled, it's a boolean. But that still didn't add. Okay, well, I mean, at the very least I can make a little progress because I can test it, the freaking thing. Hold on, I may not be able to see it, but hold on. Let me see if it works. Command. Oh wait, I'm stupid. Oh man, see, this is why I need to get this workflow going differently. I've got two. Did I close that again? Seriously? I've got two projects. This is bad. You can't do this. I didn't even copy my code over. This is why I need to be... Yeah, I need to be more on top of things. There, it works. I didn't set up a way to back out of it, but okay. Silly me. I just forgot to... Really gotta be on top of that. Okay. Okay, so... I learned something. I learned something significant there. There is an add original commands function that is specifically for plugins to inject. Here's something I want to know. How do you change the order? I would guess it would just be overriding different ones, but so add main commands are these, right? And then add original goes right here. So if I wanted to put my collectibles thing at the top, I guess I would just have to make sure it happens before add main commands. Or override add main commands, call mine first, and then call the alias. But they also put add original commands, which seems to be just for plugins. So it seems like a best practice to put it down here. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Okay, so I have a basic scene and I have a command. Cool. Okay. Change collectible scene. Let me add collectibles command. Change scene to scene menu base. Okay. Committed. Just have coffee. My coffee's gonna get cold if I don't drink it. Let me drink some coffee. You may have noticed a spoon in my coffee, but I promise I'm not using creamer. It's black coffee from a French press, which means there's coffee grounds in it. Delicious coffee grounds. Okay. So now I need to make windows. So I think I want window selectable. I can get away with just one window. There we go, and just start adding it. Prototype dot. I'm gonna put collectibles display window. That's a pretty good name. That leaves room to add more. This dot initialize. So you've seen the pattern for making stuff in RPG Maker plugins. I was actually just looking to see if I put a space in between that and the prototype. Create window selectable prototype. Wait, no, sorry. I got that wrong. Okay. I don't think I need to touch initialize or index. I don't need to touch a lot of this stuff. I might want to change item width. I don't know. Yeah, I might want to customize the columns and stuff, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I just want to change the size of the window to fill up the whole screen. And then I want to get it on screen. That'll be big progress for me. don't need to touch most of this. How do you change the actual size of the window? How do you change the size of the window? Let me just see what happens if I add this window. Where do I add the window? What is the appropriate time to add a window? I create. What do I need to call? I think I might make this a pretty short stream today just because my throat is toasted. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. This 0, 0. Oh, and then I just set the width and height right here. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. How do you get... I want to say it's like box width. Let me go to game objects. It's probably in core. Graphics, box width. Wait, is there like a getter for that? Graphics width? Yeah, okay. Is that what I want to use? Or is it different? Is that even a totally different thing from... Let's just give this a shot. Let's see if this works. I probably didn't do this right. No, I didn't. Okay. I thought add window. Let me check. Add window is a thing, isn't it? Oh, add window is not even a thing. What am I thinking of? Create window? Wait, what do you mean window layer is not a thing? What? Was that in the scene? Okay, whatever. Window. Selectable. And window null. Or I might have... Let me try something. I'll try box width and box height. You mother... I'm doing it again already. And yeah, add window would be in scenes, not windows, duh. I didn't copy the code over. I keep doing this, man. I really clearly need to get a new plugin set up. Or not a plugin, a new workflow set up. When your workflow is error prone, it's best not to just say, oh, I just need to follow this crappy workflow better. It's best to just make a new one. Collectibles display window is not a constructor. Yes it is. What are you talking about? Man, my voice is starting to piss me off today. Function. Constructor. It's this part down here, right? But it is a constructor. Isn't that what I always do for objects? This dot initialize dot apply. It's pretty much the same across the board. Wait, I don't need to add that to the prototype, do I? No. That's where I messed up. And again, copy the code over and fix this workflow later tonight. No window. At least I fixed that. Look at add window. It just adds a window to the window layer. Should be okay to add a new one, right? Okay, so this scenes and Windows stuff, mostly the Windows. It's a major blocker for me. I'm actually starting to get a headache. I've been working too much. I only streamed these 2 days in a row, but I haven't had a day off in over a week. I think I might take the next 2 days off. So the rest, well, I'm definitely going to work more tonight, but just delete that. This is not a good commit, but again, it's like a little thing just for me. Start work on collectibles display window. I think I'm going to go ahead and call the stream here in a minute. And I'm going to try to force myself to take most of the day off. Maybe not today. I'm probably going to do more work tonight, more studying of all this stuff, and maybe looking at more of other people's plugins and more tutorials. I'm going to take the next 2 days off, Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm going to get back into the groove of just taking 1 day off a week. And I think I'm going to stream those 6 days of work a week as well. So expect to start seeing a lot more streams, but not for the next 2 days. I'm going to stream again on Friday. It's going to be epic gamer time, so show up. And also the stream's going to get better. I'm going to get used to this crap again. I'm going to do something about my voice. I'm going to have more energy. Actually, my energy level's pretty good right now. This is about what you can expect. This is what we call a chill stream, alright? That's what we call a chill stream here. This is the level of energy you should expect. But I'm probably going to get my thoughts a little more organized. I think that's a big part of it too, is the stream is distracting me. And honestly, I want to share a secret with you. If you like game dev streams, this is not a good way to do game dev. It's very distracting, even with nobody in the chat. I don't even have anybody in the chat, it's just me talking to a camera, but I'm aware of the camera. And I'm trying not to look like a complete fool, which, that's stupid. I obviously look like a complete fool, and you shouldn't worry about that. And I'll get less self-conscious about this, but yeah, a lot of the serious work goes on when I'm not streaming, and then I just kind of show you the tip of the iceberg here. But I made some good progress today. Once I get less self-conscious, and even when I get chatters coming in, I think if I just manage to ignore them for the most part, at least I'll do the Pomodoro thing probably, where I just read chat every 25 minutes or something. Maybe have it would be nice to have a co-host that could read chat and keep up the conversation with me, but this is probably what you're going to get from these streams, is just me looking at code, writing code, designing stuff, talking to myself, checking chat every once in a while. Anyway, see you on Friday. I'm going to work on this stuff more tonight, and then I'm going to take the next 2 days off if I can manage to make myself. I've tried to take days off the past week, and I'm just like so... I've got that game dev hunger now. I've been trying to stoke that for years, and now I've got it. But you can't overwork, or else your work starts to become shit. So... gotta take days off. I'm gonna take 2 this week, start taking 1 regularly, same day. I'll be very regular. The streams will be very regular. You can expect to see lots of streams soon. Alright, goodbye.